guys, Steve Wolbach, your friendly public adjuster. Today what I want to talk about is water restoration. What exactly is water restoration? What is the term mitigation? Have you ever heard that term before? You see some companies that are out there, they talk about water restoration. They'll use the word mitigation company. They'll talk about that we can treat fire, smoke, mold, all sorts of things like that. Well, those types of companies are specialty companies in their field. Do you realize that? And we're going to just concentrate today on water itself. But when you have a water loss, when you've had water and maybe the carpet's gotten wet, the flooring's gotten wet, and under the flooring to the subflooring has now gotten wet from some type of a loss. I mean, one of the worst ones is if you have one of those heating systems where it's in the subfloor. It's through a tubing, and maybe you get a leak in the tubing, and now the water's been running under the main floor and the subfloor, and it's damaging, of course, the main floor, and you're starting to see water coming up between different seams and things like that. That's a lot of damage. There's a lot of things that can go bad about this too. Depending on how long it's happened, water can start to grow, and we're going to be very careful about using the word mold. Our company is very cautious, without actually having a test on it. You really don't know what it is. Yeah, I mean, you could have been in the business for 28 years and you've seen enough mold, and when you look at this thing and you see that furry or you see this black stuff, yeah, that's mold. Well, we err on the side of caution and say, well, we have a growth. It definitely doesn't belong there. There's a good chance it's going to be something very negative. But the point is, we need to test this. We need to get restoration in here, and we have to stop this from getting any worse. That's the mitigation. We need to mitigate the loss. Well, these people are professionally trained. They have special certification. You as a homeowner coming in and throwing some bleach around and splashing things, sometimes you actually get some of those particles airborne, and you can spread them to other areas that you didn't realize. Have you ever seen a full-blown restoration take place with water mitigation, where they come in with these big blue heaters, they have dehumidifiers, they drill holes and they put pipes in, hoses that are blowing air through, and I mean, it's pretty involved. There's a science to this. You coming in with a mop, and moving it around and putting some, again, bleach on there, that's very elementary and pretty much probably not really going to do the proper job that's needed in many cases. You might get away with a few isolated, smaller situations, but on the whole, you really need to be a professional. And as I say, these folks have special credentials. They've gone through a training course. They have the proper tools. So what am I saying? What am I getting at? When you have a situation, it needs to be taken care of properly. If you're going to live in that home, and even if you aren't, somebody else is going to live there, you want to try to get things cleaned up the best they can and not have any residual of any type of problem down the road. These types of companies can do a great job. Through a public adjuster, we coordinate services with them as well as us working with the insurance company to make sure that funds are provided for this. In addition, walls that need to be opened up, new floors that need to be put in, to make sure that you as a homeowner are paid properly and compensated for the loss completely. That's where we come in. Again, we are professionals, that we know what our specialty is here. We don't go and clean the floors ourselves. We will provide funds for that. We will provide an avenue of the insurance allowing that to happen because there's coverage. That's where we come in, and we can sort of oversee things to make sure that each part is taken care of properly. But those guys are the professionals when it comes to get that part done. And that's what you need. Don't do these things on your own. As I say, there are times you can actually be spreading it to other areas and then you're going to have a problem down the road. And so when it first happens is the point when you should be working with somebody who's going to represent your best interests, utilizing your policy to the fullest with the different points and the conditions that are in there that will allow for things to be cleared up properly. Guys, that's what I wanted to share with you. Don't take these things lightly. That's why there are professionals here. They have the proper training. Don't rely on yourself to do this by looking on some site somewhere and it says, yeah, bleach definitely knocks out that. And that's fine, but they don't know what your specific situation is. They don't know the magnitude. They don't know the type of flooring that you're dealing with or the condition of that flooring at the time when that water was introduced. So that's why we have professionals in the different areas to provide the best service for you to help to get you back on your feet and put this episode as far behind you as quickly as possible. Guys, I hope that made some sense. I hope you learned something from this. Please, if you would you give me a like on that? And would you please share this with others? I'm Steve Wolbach, your friendly public adjuster. You guys have yourself a beautiful afternoon. And God bless you.